On the schedule there is meditation, but I don't think it will be very good because you'll fall asleep. So it's not good to meditate with a full stomach because for sure you will fall asleep. So this is why when it's usual courses, we always have discussion group after lunch because then it keeps you awake. So I'll look at this later. So we'll continue maybe to look at the points a little bit. So that you know how to use it, because from now on it should be fairly easy. Yeah, it's very straightforward. It's very straightforward in the sense, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that. But before we go into that, please remember these instructions are for people who want to develop bodhicitta and who want to maintain that mind that wants enlightenment, that wants to go to full awakening. It's not for ordinary people who just want to have a happy life. Because if you just want to have a happy life, some of these points will make your life quite difficult actually, because you go against the stream. Yeah, you're not the ordinary kind of whatever. So make up your mind. Again, if you find points that you will find helpful for this life, and that is your motivation, just to have a kind of good life now, take these points, leave the others aside. If you want to attain liberation, some of these points are also very helpful. And of course, if you want to attain full awakening, then these points are, one needs to train it. Otherwise, enlightenment is like nowhere to be seen. Yeah? So we're at point 3 there, when already is something we looked when misfortunes fill the world and its inhabitants, transform them into the means for awakening. So usually again, when something difficult happens or we have problems, we blame the outside, isn't it? It's other people's fault that I don't feel good, and it's the situation outside that is at fault that I don't feel good, and like that. So I was kind of surprised yesterday that in the discussion groups you didn't come up with this, but this is what we do. Yeah, this is what we do. So actually, so one tries to bring, and this is what we will do also in 3 weeks when we talk about the 8 worldly concerns. So a so-called good life, a so-called not so good life, both of them can serve as a basis for your growth. Yeah? The good life by really working hard on your mind because you have the opportunity and you have the leisure, you have the time. And the very hard life because you purify negative karma by itself. If you have a very good, very easy life, you burn out a lot of positive energy that you have created in the past. Yeah. So we think good life, easy life, fantastic, but what we do, we empty our karmic bank account without putting anything in, just by enjoying. Now we're not creating a lot of negativities, like what some friends of mine in Switzerland, they say, I don't need to practice, I'm happy. And I'm very happy for them that they're happy, but they're just burning up their good karma. And of course, it's them also, when they have an easy life, they don't say it's my karma, then it's also not the end. Well, I did this is my life. When something negative comes, then it's karma. When you win the lottery, I never heard anybody say, oh, my karma made me win the lottery. Or when your relationship is good, people don't talk like that. When it breaks, then you go, oh, my karma. Yeah, both of it is your karma. So, especially when misfortunes fill the world and its inhabitants, transform them into the means for awakening. Start to understand what is happening to me now, the misfortunes, the difficulties, is by my karmic actions of body, speech and mind, which are negative, so I need to abstain from them. I need to put effort into studying how karma works. What is a positive action? What is a negative action? It's not so simple. See, we only think about the action, but there's a lot of other factors that determine whether the imprint will be positive, will be kind of ripening into suffering or ripening into happiness. It's the intention, it's the finishing, it's how you do the action, with whom you do the action. And the most important one is the intention. The intention, and it's not a conscious intention, by the way, it's a habitual intention. That kind of, that factor that pushes you to say or do something, be it positive or negative. See, all misfortunes is purifying past negative deeds. So it's like you say, okay, great. If I don't create new negative actions, at least then, fantastic, we'll be finished. So it's like the dentist. When you have a toothache, do you know whose fault it is when you have a toothache? Whose fault is it? You have a hole in your tooth and it aches. Whose fault is it?
The candy.
Your parents, because they gave you this body, isn't it? No, you have teeth that are not so well, or you ate the wrong things. So, but you know you need help, isn't it? You know if you go and look for that help, it will hurt in two ways. It will hurt physically, and it will hurt materially because you have to pay a bill. Still, you go voluntarily. The dentist hurts you. You know, it hurts, the hole is filled. You're happy. You say thank you. You pay money. If I'm stealing the woman's wallet, she's not saying thank you. She would be very angry. Probably. I don't know about the one. Maybe not. Do you see what I mean? So whatever difficulties we have, whatever pain comes, again, whether we label it good or bad, is not the pain, is taking responsibility. You know, you can write a letter to the people who produce sugar, and you can complain to them, and you can blame them. I mean, I would be silly, wouldn't it? You know that you didn't have to eat that sugar. You did, so then you have a hole. If you don't fix it, then it will increase. So that's why you go. Even though you're afraid, you still go so that it does not increase. And then, as I said, at the end you say thank you, and you're happy, and you're not going, wow, that dentist hurt me so much, how dare he, and all this. You knew it was necessary for this hole to be fixed. So it's all about understanding what happens to us. It's all about understanding the law of cause and effect. But again, you don't believe in previous lives, so very difficult to accept why you got kind of treated in a bad way as a child, for example. Because you definitely didn't create that karma in that life as a child. That must have come from before, otherwise not possible. So whether, the law of cause and effect, whether rebirth, past and future lives, I don't know if that's true. I see it as a hypothesis, like, if I adopt that view, what will it do to my life? And I see that if I adopt a view, no matter what people say, Christians say no, the Jews say no, the Buddhists say yes, the Hindus say yes, the atheists, they don't know what they should say. So, they have no clue. So then, for them, because I don't know, then it doesn't exist. For an atheist, whatever they don't know, it doesn't exist. I mean, how more closed can you be? Atheists, they think of themselves as being really kind of progressive and tolerant. They're the most fundamentalists that I know. At least I'm open towards Islam, to listen to them, what they say, to Judaism, what they say, and I say, if that helps, it's very good. But if you're an atheist, then whatever smells a little bit like religion is like, no. Really stiff on their views, and then they start to defend it, and they tell you, you're stupid believing in this. I never told the scientists, you're stupid not to believe in God. Why? Why would I tell him? Or in a Buddha, or in your own goodness, or whatever. So anyway, no matter what view you have, this view has to be supporting what you want. So you need to know what you want. Yeah? And if you don't know what you want, of course it's not, you never thought of what is a meaningful life, and then it will just come like this. Sit down in the evening and think, wow, one day less in my life where I have time to do what I want to do. And do that every evening. Maybe an answer will come. Who knows what you want to do? Or ask yourselves questions like, what will be important for me at the moment of death that I would like to have done, that I would like to have lived? So it can be climbing mountains, it can be going to beaches, it can be earning a lot of money, it can be developing a good heart. The thing is, to climb mountains you need skills and you need strength and muscle. I did when I was younger. To go to the beach you need a lot of patience. To lie in the sun the whole day, I think it's horrible. I don't know how people do that all the day. And then you're full of sand. It's like, how can you go that pleasure, really. Really. Sorry. It's merely leisure, okay? For me, it's absolutely no pleasure. It's a punishment about go to the beach. Swimming pool I like, water I like, but the beach with sand, oh. Because, you know, then you're itchy and sticky everywhere and salt water and all that. But yeah, people pay a lot of money to do that.
Lakes. What about lakes?
Lake is better. Lake is okay. Yeah, lake is good. There's no lakes here. Whoa. A lake? It's really labeled lake. I think when one Lama, for the first time, he was in California, and they were on a cliff, and he saw the people lying on the beach, and he said, poor guys, I wonder what kind of karma, negative karma is shining on them. You know, they have to lie in the sun. Okay, somebody's phone is ringing. It's okay. It's not. It's okay. It's really no big deal. It's a phone ringing. It's a sound. Okay. So just imagine how you would feel if it would be yours. So be happy it's not yours. Then you feel the eye coming up.
I take it all on myself.
And ringing phones can become such a big thing in a silent retreat. Or you know, when 10 years ago, 20 years ago, these watches who went beep beep every hour. So we always ask people to turn off the beep beep, but some forgot. And then you could feel, you know, you're totally concentrated in your vipassana meditation. And all of a sudden next to you, beep beep, and then you're, how dare they? They brought us back to the present, so be happy about it. Because you were probably dreaming. Can become the cause for murder, you know, these people. As never were we on the beach, what is really labor? So again, so if you don't know what to do with your life, just think about this. What will be important for me when I die? So it can be anything. Both my parents, they were born to poor families, even in Switzerland, you know, like during the war, it wasn't that much money. So their interest was money. Same as all over Europe in the 50s, 60s, was very important, material growth. So my dad earned it, he was very happy, he died very happily. My mom spent it, she also died very happily. So it didn't do much for their future lives, but at least they had in their mind, they had a good life, so they were happy. You see what I mean? You know, a life without meaning is terrible. Then you get grumpy and depressed and unhappy. So it can be anything. And try to find something that is not harmful. So earning money is not harmful, spending it is also not harmful. So it's okay. It doesn't go into the 10 negative action. So please try to abstain from them. So then whatever happens, even if it's difficult things, we transform it into the past. And we had this 1 week retreat, and I was organizing it, and I made the Karma Yoga list. I put the names already in. So the person who was there for washing up, I said, no, it's a friend of mine who I hadn't seen her for 20 years. So I said, so you'll be in lunch, you wash up. So, I don't mind ironing, I don't mind cleaning toilets, but I really don't like to wash dishes. So I said, look, it's very simple. There's a dishwasher, so all you need is to rinse them. People will rinse their own plates and buckets. You put them on a stack, you put them in the machine, you take them out. I said, oh, okay. Then, and there's another person to help you, so there's two. There's only about 30 people, so. But then the machine broke. And then, because it was a course of these points, she really transformed that into the past. She was fighting every meal to go and do the washing, the washing dishes. And she was very happy. Because she did it voluntarily. It's only when we feel forced, yeah? But we can change that. I want to do this, yeah? And then at the end she got a gold medal for the best dishwasher Venerable Renée's Retreat 2018. But I was very inspired by that, how she transformed difficulties into the past. She said, wow, that retreat was so good. Now I can go home and wash dishes happily. This is how we change habits. Yeah? Next one, immediately apply this mind training to whatever you encounter. So it's basically the same thing. Yeah? So if you have difficult things happening, think about samsara. I am under the control of karma and negative emotions. And this will be life after life after life after life. So you develop renunciation. Open your heart and see that everybody is in that situation. And then think about why. Because we don't understand lack of inherent existence. Or we don't understand objective, lack of objective, real objective existence. Yeah? There is no real objective existence. There's only possibilities out there. Yeah? So then you train in these three things when things go difficult. But the problem is when we have difficult periods in our life, it's very difficult to practice. So at least understand these 3 points. If I'm disturbed by these difficulties, I need to go out of samsara. I need to, and what are the causes is I need to work with my negative emotions and purify my negative karma. Why am I having all these problems? Because I don't understand reality. Am I the only one having to undergo this? No, everybody else. So the compassion, may all beings be free from that. Okay? So then you think about these points in whatever situation, or you do Tonglen in whatever situation. If you're too hot, you can't sit underneath the aircon, then you will be too cold afterwards. So this is what we say. You know, this is samsara. Whatever we do, we always have to adjust. We always have to change. You're sitting here, it's too hot. You go there, it's too cold. If you know air condition, you're too cold, you go in the sun. It gets too hot, you need to go in the shade. Yeah, you're hungry, you eat, then you have to stop, because otherwise it changes into suffering of too much eating. Then you're hungry again, and so on and so on and so on. You stand up, then you have to sit down. You stand up because sitting is uncomfortable. You start standing or walking, then you have to sit down again, then you have to lie down again, then you have to get up. This is samsara. Nothing holds. Nothing is really satisfactory. And we spend so much time trying to find a situation where finally it will hold, because the yearning that we have is for lasting happiness, not temporary happiness. But we're looking for lasting happiness in things that by their nature are impermanent. So how can we find it? Like that. Okay, and enhance your progress of the 4 activities. So these 4 activities, they're quite Tibetan Buddhist, I have to say. Not the first 2 ones, that's okay. Accumulate merit, accumulate mitzvahs. You learn that in your own tradition. And here, we already talked about this yesterday, it seems as if people get upset, like I'm kind to Niv because I want to have some mitzvah or some, merit or positive energy, and then he says, no, I don't allow you because your motivation is not pure. This is the view in this country. I still don't understand this point. Why people cannot accept the kindness of somebody else when they do it for their sake. Let them do it for their sake. If only more people would be kind for their sake, or ethical, in order for them to be happy. I don't mind for what kind of purpose they do it. Do you understand what I mean? Because many people say, but it's so selfish, this mitzvah thing. Why? Why is that selfish? To be kind to others. Even you do it because you know it's good for me. Of course, if you kind of think there will be an immediate result, what's the Jewish view on mitzvah? When is the result coming? Because there must be a result, otherwise why would they tell you to do mitzvah? So who is one thing? Who is giving you the result? And when?
Maybe not next time.
It's not next life. Huh? Next world. Which next world?
But there's also a saying that what you get for the mitzvah, it's mitzvah. What you get for doing the mitzvah is like that's very close to mind transformation,
Yeah.
in my view. It's like you become someone who's done this stuff.
Yeah. So it's a bit like karma, isn't it? Whatever you put out comes back. It's very similar. So why does it seem to be such a problem?
That's karma.
So it's the same thing.
Sometimes
Sometimes it's like it's too complicated. Anyway, you enhance your productivity, so accumulate merit. Try to get as many mitzvahs as you can. It's good. It's good for you and it's good for others. Yeah? Purify your negative. Purify obscurations. So that is a specific way of doing it. We won't have time to go through this, but it's being talked about this again and again and again and again. If in order to purify negative actions that you have already done, you need to be able to regret sincerely. I should not have done this. You need to do an action that counterbalances it. And you need to have a very strong motivation at the end, or determination not to repeat the action, or at least to oppose that kind of push that we have to repeat negative action. Like yesterday we talked about habits. You have to kind of to work with your habit. At the end, to do it, to have a very determined mind. I will work with this. I will go against it. Then you can purify things that have not ripened already. So it's a good thing, but we don't do it. Why don't we do it? What do you think? Why is there very little interest in purification practice? Emptiness, compassion, all this, there's a lot of interest. Purification? Why not? Because we don't believe in law of cause and effect. We're not afraid. We don't feel these negative imprints. So then we want to purify once they're ripened. This is like you have a small plant in your garden and you see that this will grow into a bush that I don't want in my garden because it will overpower everything, and you just leave it. And then when the bush is big, when it has ripened, then you want to go and pull it out. If karma has already ripened, you can't change it, but you can purify things that have not ripened yet. But unfortunately, me also, I would say we, I'm not saying you. Not enough trust in the law of cause and effect. Not knowing what we are producing every day with wrong view of a real me doing a real action to a real other, and not kind of challenging that view. Lots of karmic imprints for lower rebirth. I hope you're a bit afraid now. You see, fear can be helpful. It can be hindering, but it can also be helpful. Like the fear of suffering is preventing me from putting my two fingers into these two holes where there's electricity at the same time. Yeah? So that if I'm not afraid of this and think, oh, nice holes, I don't stick my fingers in it. This is what we do as kids. We touch something, and then through direct experience we go like, then we know, If mommy says it, we don't believe it. This is it. The Buddha, the Masters say, there's law of cause and effect. We don't believe it because we don't see it, because it's a very hidden kind of process. Yeah? So, if you want to be enlightened, you have to purify your obscurations. And making offerings to the spirit. So, this is what I do every evening. I don't know, not every evening, but when I have the occasion to do, I did here yesterday also. I don't know if there are spirits who can help me or harm me, but what if they are? So it's a practice that lasts like 5 minutes. How many minutes does a day have? Many. Yeah. So 5 minutes is nothing. So, I light the incense, I say the verses, I do it. And sometimes it's actually quite good to do. Sometimes you can be in a spot, or in a place, or in a state where you feel that something is somehow not quite right, or you try very hard, but nothing works. Then it's good to do these practices because they say, again, whether it's true or not, I don't know if it's true, but they say that these subtle beings, they can affect your nervous system. They can kind of, they can affect your nervous system, then you feel, really strange. I don't know if you, have you ever felt something like this, that you know, what the hell is going on? It's like no outside kind of reasons why to feel like this, and all of a sudden you feel anxious and kind of heavy here. Because they said this is where they like to sit. And they take your energy. It's not the nutniks that you know. They don't suck your energy. It's you who don't want to give your energy, that's why they suck it. But the others, because we don't feel them. So it's good to make offerings to these spirits, just in case, and to the Dharma protectors. So kind of, again, this is mind training. So this is for people who are quite advanced already. So you would actually, you would actually make offerings to the spirits so that they come to harm you. So that you can work. So that you can generate compassion for them. And especially with the spirit, we understand it's really produced by the mind, in a way. Yeah? So then that's for the advanced people. If you're not advanced, you would ask them to stop harming you. The Dharma protectors, if you're advanced, you ask them to put hindrances in on your path. Because it's usually those that throw us back. You know, when everything goes well, everything is easy, we very quickly forget about that Dharma practice. About to develop the mind and to generate compassion, meditate on emptiness. Then we want to enjoy. Because we don't have so many of these occasions where we feel good. Maybe we don't want to go and sit in a room and listen to somebody. And we don't want to sit, we want to go and promenade so that everybody sees how well we are. When we are depressed, then we stay at home. And we don't want people to see. So we're very bad parents to ourselves. We're like the parents who, when the kids are good, then we go and promenade them, show them off. And when they're not obeying, we put them in the cupboard at home. And nobody can see. That's what we do. So a bit like this. So if you are very advanced, then you would ask the Dharma protectors to throw some stones on your path so that you remember, what was I about to do? If you're not advanced, you ask them for protection from the spirits. Okay? Did you want to ask something?
Yeah, those spirits, are they also like, I don't know, ghosts or hungry ghosts? Or
Yeah, something like that. Something that we can't see but can have a function, can affect us. There's also local spirits. Let's not go there, okay? What they are.
What is the body did you say?
The nervous system. Or where they sit, here in the chest.
And this is considered for like accumulating merit.
One,
Purifying obscuration.
Two.
Offering to the spirits.
Three.
To the Dharma protectors is for.
Okay. So like for those who know what I'm talking about, it's like Dharma protectors, you would offer tea, you would do the tea offering. To Mahakala, Hayagriva, and all these kinds of people. It's this month, it's usually not on the 29th, this month is, I think, on the 8th. And spirits, there's specific verses you can say. One is in the Nunes. I don't know how many of you have done Nunes. Okay, you remember like when you offer the tormas? There's a torma for the landlord and the spirits. One is for the deity, one is for the protectors, and one is for the landlord. Okay, so that's that one. So you can take that very short verse with the mantra Om Sambhala Sambhala Vimana Svara Svara something like that, and you offer a cookie or incense, and you think that one big little cookie, you transform it into emptiness, you make it in as an ocean of offerings, and they all come and eat and it's very creative. It's like if you practice Tibetan Buddhism, you don't need the internet anymore. You just do all these things. It's a lot of entertainment. Yeah? And beneficial entertainment on top of it. Okay, so this is this. If if you're not believing or if you're not familiar to Tibetan Buddhism, try to see. For example, the homeless person who sits in front of your house, he does affect you when you come out. It does affect you. You feel guilty. So offer something to that spirit, for example. If you can't deal with things that you can't see. Yeah. And the people who think can protect you, be nice to them. So that they will protect you when you need help. Okay? Not with the whole saying, they should help me or whatever. You see, if the protectors don't protect me, I don't get angry with them. If a human being doesn't protect me, but I think they should, then I get angry.